Hi guys, and welcome to another Pop Culture Overload video review. And this is our last one of the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise figures. And we're ending with the one that I like the best, and that is Wheeljack. Wheeljack is just he is my absolute favorite out of these deluxes that came out. Just great. I'm going to get into that in just a second. Put Wheeljack to the side here. And let's take a look at the packaging. You got Transformers Prime, some artwork of Wheeljack with his blaster. We don't get the blaster, but he's even got that grenade on his belt right there. But he does have his double battle swords, Robots in Disguise. And we'll take a look at the back of the packaging. You can see he is from Series 1, 003. There's a look at Wheeljack's bio. Should be enough. The double battle swords and the sports car mode with the two swords off the front. And here are a look at his tech specs. I think his intelligence should be a little bit higher because Wheeljack was an inventor in the original series. I didn't really see it in Transformers Prime, but who knows? We only saw the character once. But anyway, here is his car mode, and I'm loving this car mode because if you look at it with the colors, the white, the green, the red, and the way they fall on the car, this screams Wheeljack. He's got this very small spoiler on top. I kind of wish the spoiler was painted a little differently, but I'm okay. I'm okay with that because if you look at the back, we got paint apps. We have two types of paint apps on the tail lights, which, you know, we never see that. Hardly ever. He's got windows. I think repo labels, if they made stickers for this guy, would really just make him stand out. Just a really just cool looking car mode. Rolls real well. And if you come underneath, he's got his swords here, but there's not a lot. There's hardly any kibble under here. You can kind of see something that you might think are legs or arms. There's not. It's very well executed and a really great transformation too. These swords just peg into these two posts right here, and the swords are a pretty hard plastic. They're a little pliable, but not as much as you would think. They're a little bit harder than I thought they would be, and you know they're dull. You know, there's no chance of kids poking their eye out with this thing, but it's of a pretty good quality plastic, and the silver is actually painted on there, whereas the gray is the color of the plastic. And you can just take those. He's got these little pegs right there underneath the hood, and the swords just peg into the sides in there. And there you go. Watch out if you're in the way in traffic. I want you out of the left lane. Ah! I'm sorry. That's how I feel when I'm driving. Anyway, we'll take these swords off and let's go ahead and get to the transformation. This kind of helps things if you just take your fingernails and kind of spread this windshield apart. And you can take it on these side panels on the back. Pull those out, and as you can see, these are the arms. What I like to do right now is I just take this panel, let me get this in frame, this side window over here has this fist, and what you do is you just pop that away from the door. You see it separates, and now you can rotate it and then push it back in. And there you have his hand. So we do the same thing with the other side. They're a little stiff. I just get my fingernail between the gray of the arm and the white of the door because I'm afraid I'm going to break this part here, but I don't think I will. So anyway, so you've already got a set of arms there. Take this top half right here at where the window meets the hood. Just separate that. You can rotate his body down, and now you can start rotating all of this up. You want these holes right here to go vertical because he's going to lock together right there. Alright, so moving down to the legs, we just split them, and he's got a really great leg transformation here. What happens is this portion rotates back. I'm sorry, rotates back from the bottom here. And then he's got like a little groove on the inside of his leg and a tab on the white part of the car, and that just tabs in there. So then you take this part, you push it up, and you turn it to the side, and then rotate the whole leg at the calf, or sorry, thigh. Pull out his little knee spur, pull the foot forward, and there's your foot right there, which is on a ball joint. You can get a lot of positions out of that. So once again, on this leg, we rotate it down, push it into position, slide that up, rotate it around, and there you go. Now we've got the legs and his head. These guys have some really cool head reveals. With we saw Cliff Jumper and Deluxe Class Soundwave. He's got one too. Let me bring my camera up a little bit so I can capture, since he's getting a little bit taller on us. Okay. There we go. Alright. So you can probably see his head right there. But what you do is you bring this forward. And right here, this part just pushes in because it's on a hinge. You bring it down. Now, this is where those two gray panels in the back were these holes. There's little white tabs there. And they plug in there. Locking it together on both sides. And this is very secure. He feels very solid in this form. And you just take his wings here. Little kick back to G1 there. And here we have Wheeljack in his robot mode. Now, one of the things in the instructions they tell you to do is to take these panels and to bring them up like that. And then bring his arms down. And I think that gives him more of a, kind of what we have at Cliff Jumper with the gorilla arms. They're almost down to, his hands are past his knees now. So I like to just leave them like this. It brings them up a little bit higher, not past the knees now. They're still a little long, but it's okay. This just looks better in my opinion. You can do whatever you want to. You're a Wheeljack. The swords can peg into the sides here. They have these holes here. I don't know why they would peg into the sides. It didn't really tell us to do that in this alt mode, but what they do is in the back here you have some grooves, and the swords will fit right in there, just like they did on the show. And I like that. And of course you can take these battle blades out and put them into his hands. And oh yeah, and he has a ton of posability. He's got the ankle tilt on a ball joint, but the ball joint's to the side. He's really great. Not a double jointed knee, but close enough. His arms are on, well, kind of not really a ball joint. They kind of got this tilt here, and the ball joint has a little hindrance there. But you can still get a lot of decent poses out of this guy, especially the classic crossed blades here and his kick. I kind of wish, because we saw it so much in the episode, I kind of wish they had molded a grenade onto the side of his hip here. That would have been a little, just a cool little add-on, but it's okay. I'm not complaining about this figure. He's got a really great head mold. Very, very reminiscent of G1 Wheeljack. Even with the chest, this figure is just the best of this line to me so far. I really like the execution on him. And like I said, a ton of posability, great paint apps, and a great figure. I really liked his portrayal in Prime. I want to see more of the tinkerer side of Wheeljack, but I'm very happy with the show and their offerings of toys so far, if you can only get first edition. That was done under my breath. I'm sorry. But that's about all I got to say about this guy. I just really like him. He's Got a ton of playability. If you can catch them, these things they're coming out in Toys R Us's. Targets are carrying them, and that's about it. But as always, I'm Jazz for Pop Culture Overload, and I'll see you next time.